and track the next couple of hours as we wait for the severe weather risk to expire. But we have this chance throughout the day. So on the west, we'll continue to watch that. Then another area of concern is really going to be just close to Houston. And again, maybe if you live near the outer belt, you are seeing it right now, just that heavier rain coming down. Not really seeing lightning with this, but this is going to be right here near the woodlands and the bush. You can see that thunderstorms or that rain coming down near the outer and inner loop belt, showing us just the heavier rains, not everywhere, but some places are getting it. So zooming in a little bit closer, you can see almost just north right there of that I-10 corridor on the east side, making its way into Kingwood all the way up to 90. You can see that line of showers happening right now. Again, when I check the lightning counter, I'm not seeing a lot of lightning, but I am seeing those heavier downpours. So from the west, it's going to be that Brenham area. And then from the east, it's really going to be Kingwood all the way up to the north. We're seeing that cell. And then some showers just south of that as we continue to track this front coming again from the Dallas area, bringing them severe weather earlier and us really just that rain. And we're slowly starting to get some thunderstorms. So those are two areas I watch. I actually want to go check up to the north with the severe weather risk because we had Huntsville this morning, a lot of thunderstorms really near that 45 corridor. That's the 2 out of 3, the 3 out of 5 that you're looking at right there as we speak. And we had the thunderstorms, the lightning in that area, and I want to see if we're still having rain up there. So it's slowly making its way down. So again, this is that 45 corridor, Huntsville into the Woodlands area. We have a pocket of rain. If maybe you are traveling, you're going to see the slower drive times. Again, we're not seeing a lot of lightning, which is a good thing, but we are seeing those downpours. Again, this is going to be 59 as we make our way up into the Huntsville area. And we actually have our storm tracker too. They're showing us those live conditions too to make sure that you are prepared and you can see everything that's happening, because again, we have this chance for severe weather, and when they're ready, I'll bring you that live look. But you again will see slower drive times on that 45 corridor into Huntsville up into New Waverly. You can see just those cells that we'll continue to watch right before Huntsville. Those pour downs are happening right now. So this is an area of concern on 45. So we've checked the west, we have checked the east. Let's take a look at the south, what we're watching in terms of the south when it comes to those heavier downpours. Looks like the Lake Jackson area is where we're starting to see that rain. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit tighter. So looking at Lake Jackson and Angleton, those heavier downpours, maybe we'll get down to the street level because this looks good in terms of activity. So we're looking near Sweeney into West Columbia, those heavier downpours. It doesn't look as populated, of course, but we are seeing that rain. So these are areas of concern, basically the north and south. And I know we have Zach. I know it's your day off. You're in Storm Tracker 2. You're on 59, right? Making your way up north, which has been a really busy area for us. Doesn't look like it's raining, but I see those gray skies. Tell me what you're seeing.
Yeah, Brittany, good afternoon. The good news right now, we're not dealing with any rain showers. We briefly had to turn on the wipers about 13 minutes ago, a little south of here along 59, when we were dealing with a light showers at that time. But the good news is it's cleared up. I'm going to flip the camera around so you can see. Again, we're heading north. We're passing right now through Splendora. That was exit 166. The good news right now, things are dry, but as you were just mentioning, those storms are making their way from the west to the east, going to be impacting areas to our west right now along 45 over in the Woodlands, Conroe. To the north of us, that's Cleveland, of course. You can see those skies are gray, but so far so good. No rain at this point. We know things could change, right? And they will change here in the next few hours. And so for folks heading out this afternoon, be mindful of that, right? Be mindful that these roads will be wet. These surfaces could be slick, especially because these storms are fast moving and there's not a whole lot of rain there. Some spots will see heavy downpours at time, but we know it takes a lot of rain to clean the grease and the oil off the road. So they will be slick in some spots. So if you are heading heading out this afternoon, just be mindful of that. Give yourself plenty of time. And as you were mentioning, Brittany, it's always handy to keep this guy with you. This is our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. And so this is my tool out in the field. This is my go-to, and it's really neat because you can customize whatever it is you're needing where you are. So for me, I like looking at Futurecast because it gives you a heads up, right, on what's coming your way. And so using these tools are really, really helpful, especially if you're out and about, on the go, getting where you need to safely.
Yeah, and what I love about that, a couple of things. I love that you have that app, right? Our Future Track, our Storm Tracker, it shows you where it's at. But let me ask you this, because I just think it's fascinating with this front. Describe to me how it feels for you outside, because it's warm, right? It's muggy. And we're going to continue to see those warmer temperatures. But the thing is, it's going to drop drastically. By Monday, your kids are going to be waking up and we're going to be in the 40s. So thank you, Zach, for that live look. Again, what he was just showing you is those areas up north. So he's making his way up towards the Woodlands and into Huntsville, all the way up into Conroe. And what we're watching, again, is going to be just that chance for thunderstorms. And what we're seeing, or what he just showed us, is that we're not seeing a lot of downpours, but we are seeing those gray skies, and you are going to feel those warmer temperatures again as you step outside. And it might be warm and muggy right now, but I'm telling you, things are going to change tomorrow because of that front. So looking again at radar, what we'll continue to watch and track is that severe weather threat. And with that severe weather threat really is going to be just that chance of rain. So before we get off, I just want to go over the areas of concern that we have right now, and we'll continue to watch this. The severe, again, the Houston area is a 2 out of 5. And as this front makes its way down into our area, again, it could bring that gustier conditions, that potential for thunderstorms and hail. And you got to think of it, and how I like to think about it is like this. Right now, again, we are above average temperatures. We were waking up in the 70s, right? Our air, it is warm, it is muggy, but this front, which is a powerful front, is coming from the west. It already brought some severe weather to areas to the west of us. It's coming into Houston, so we have this cold air. And so when that warm and cold air clash, that's when we have the problem that we have is that we could produce severe weather. And again, in that intensity with the thunderstorms, those gustier conditions, and the hail. So looking one more time at the problem spots that we'll continue to watch, or if you're watching right now and you live on the west side of the map, again, it's going to be that Brenham area, the Hempstead into Cypress. If you're taking right there, that Interstate 290, kind of close to the Buc-ee's, you know where I'm talking about, you can see that rain coming down right here as we speak. So with it, I'm not really seeing any thunderstorms. That's the good news, or at least not lightning. We did see that earlier, just taking it maybe 2 lightning strikes, but what that tells me is at least it's not building in intensity like we were seeing earlier up to the north. We are just seeing that rain again, and this really looks like it's spanning from I-10 right there near Columbus all the way into Hempstead, and then up to the north close to that 45 corridor. And again, that 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock hour earlier, we had a lot of lightning in this area. We are still seeing a little bit of pockets of shower on that 45 corridor. Not a lot of lightning with it, but still some heavier downpours. So again, this is going to be New Waverly on 45 as you make your way into Huntsville. And then as we go to the east, you can also see kind of close to Trinity, Grovetown, Riverside, the heavier downpours happening now. Again, this is going to be the 190 area and 156. So we have heavier rain coming down up to the north. And then, of course, areas near Trinity, we're seeing some showers as well. That's one spot that we're going to watch behind the scenes for the next couple of hours. That's a long line of showers because basically it goes from El Campo, it breaks up I-10 all the way up to that corridor. Then let's look at this one, because this one's actually picking up a couple of different lightning strikes. So if you live actually on the east side of the map, this is going to be near the Liberty area, near the interstate. Rain coming down for you. It looks like a lot of lightning happening right outside of our viewing area up to the north. But here's another cell we'll continue just to watch. So this is going to be right there near the loop into Kingwood all the way up into 90. We can see heavier rain coming down. A couple lightning strikes happening just south of Kingwood. I'm talking about 5, so it's not a lot, but if you live in the neighborhood, it's a lot to you, right? That's why we like to zoom in to kind of give you a little bit of a closer look at what's happening. Again, this is going to be right near those outer belts, the heavier downpours happening. Kingwood all the way down into that outer belt, the heavier downpours. And we're seeing a couple lightning lightning strikes. So this is going to be just east right here near the Kingwood area. So that's a second spot that we'll continue to watch as we look at the big picture. And then there's just a couple other cells. Ooh, Lake Jackson just to the north. If you live in the Lake Jackson area, you might start hearing some thunder. I'm going to zoom into that. Let's see what we have going on. So this is going to be Lake Jackson into Angleton. You can see right here the thunderstorm, the lightning. We have about 2 lightning strikes, but it's enough that if you live in that area, you're hearing it, and then there's downpours as they approach the interstate. And then it's going to be that 45 corridor, Texas City into Galveston, maybe a little bit of light rain for you, but just south of the Santa Fe area. Let's see what we got going on here. You can see this cell right here kind of making its way close to the Santa Fe area, those heavier downpours, but overall this isn't producing any lightning. We're just seeing that rain, and same story for 45 again, that Galveston, Texas City, they're just seeing those heavier rains, but we are seeing a couple different clusters, even 45 as you make your way into Hobby. Some downpours just to the west and the east of that 45 corridor. And then this one looks a little bit newer. We'll check this one before we let you go so you know everything that's happening. But I loved how Zach showed you our app, because we have our future track, we have our radar, and so you can get this information anytime you need it, especially if you have plans to going to be outdoor or driving, because you don't want to get caught in these downpours. So this is going to be Brookhaven, Foster Place, Gulf Crest near 690. You're seeing those heavier downpours right now as we approach the interstate. So this is an area you'll see those slower drive times. Had about 1 or 2 lightning strikes when I zoomed out just a little bit, but Texas Southern University, Riverside Terrace, Foster Place, Brookhaven, Gulf Crest, you're at least getting some of that rain. 610, if you have plans on 610, you can see once you hit Brookhaven, you're going to get into that downpour all the way into Gulf Crest. And you know what? I actually like what Zach said about some of these roadways. They haven't had too much rain, and what happens is that we have all that oil, that grime, and that grit. So we get rain like we're looking at that 610 part, and that can be actually really hard to stop your brakes. So if you're going to be out in the roadways, take it slow. It's still today, if you can stay at home, watch basketball later, that's probably your best bet, because we have thunderstorms throughout the day. So we'll continue to watch again Lake Jackson all the way up past the Woodlands, and then this cell here, I-10, all the way past just up into Huntsville. About 56 lightning strikes right now as we speak, and then we're going to continue to track that front, and with that it's going to drop down those temperatures. So we are watching and tracking more severe weather, just areas up into near St. Louis, but we are dealing with the remnants of this low. Again, it's going to drop down those temperatures, waking up in the 70s today, but by Monday morning, we're going to be waking up into the 40s. So we are going to feel that dramatic temperature drop as we continue to track the rain and the thunderstorms during the weekend when everybody is planning on being outside. We are going to continue to see these showers. I think it's going to pick up, as we said earlier, that 12 o'clock hour all the way till 5. And then what we're going to continue to watch and track is going to be Sunday, those overnight hours, that 12 o'clock, that 1 o'clock, that 2 o'clock, we could actually see more rain. And then when you wake up, we're going to be in the 50s. It's still going to be a wet weekend. Obviously, today is worse in terms of that potential for severe weather, but we will see some rain tomorrow as well. And of course, tornado watch. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so we just got a word in from Dodgy that we're just getting a tornado watch. Is it up to the north? This is live TV, and we're going to make sure that you are prepared. Give me 2 seconds. Okay. Can I take Yeah, go ahead and take control of it. So we just got our tornado watch, which makes sense to me in the terms of that we have this instability in the atmosphere, right? We have these warm temperatures right now. It is warm, it is muggy. And with that front that I showed you that is producing serious weather up to the north, that's going to clash together. And when it does, that's when we have that potential for severe weather, and when we have that chance to create those thunderstorms. So we are watching again, continue to watch and track that chance for thunderstorms and a tornado watch. And I can see it in the corner of my screen. So are we seeing that tornado watch is in Montgomery, Texas? So now this is coming in. Yep, I see it right here in Houston, in the Woodlands, Pearland, Lake Jackson, Galveston. So we have this as a tornado watch, and this is Montgomery County. We'll continue to watch this until at least the 5 o'clock hour. So when we have the watch, what that means is that we have all the ingredients to produce a tornado. So we're not at a tornado warning yet, but that could happen. And so what we like to do when we have these tornado watches is just really be aggressive with our updates. So if you live in any of these areas, which basically is the Woodlands, Houston, Pearland, Lake Jackson, up until Katy, we're going to see that chance for a tornado warning. That's because, again, we have these warmer temperatures. We have that cold front pushing through. And with that, it's a strong cold front. And when those two air masses collide, that's when we have that chance to create a tornado warning. And that's why we have that watch as those gustier conditions, they continue to move through this area. And so now we have the tornado watch. Again, this is going to be for parts right here in Montgomery until at least 5 o'clock. So we'll watch this for you. They've just extended that till 9 o'clock, Dodgy? Yep, so that's been extended till 9 o'clock as those showers come in from the west. So now it's went from 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock for pretty much, you can see a very big portion of our viewing area as we watch that rain. And you can see some of those cells from the west, just those jagged edges really coming from I-10, Katy, all the way up into Huntsville. And then we're watching a couple different ones that's really Houston all the way in between that Liberty area. And this is where you're going to actually find Zach, and maybe we can get him again and just show us a live look. But really what we were noticing on, I believe he was on 59, was just the severe weather threat. So what we'll continue to watch really is with this tornado watch. Again, this is going to be until 9 o'clock, basically Conroe all the way into Pearland. And as we go up here, you can see that line of showers. Let's check in with Zach Zossaway again one more time. I know, Zach, we've just been issued a tornado watch. This is until 9 o'clock. You're on 59. How are conditions looking for you? I definitely see the cloudy conditions, not seeing the rain, but are you surprised by this?
Yeah, so right now, actually, Brittany, the rain is coming down, or it was. Of course, the second you come to us, it appears to slow down a little bit. So we are actually heading south now on 59. There seems to be some sort of situation in the northbound lanes over there.
Funeral procession.
Oh, it's a funeral procession on this Saturday. So we're heading south on 59. We're going to cut west on 105 through Cut and Shoe over to Conroe. I know that area will see these storms obviously sooner than what we will over here because we are further east. And so we're going to head on over to that area right now to see what it is we're seeing. But as you were mentioning, you know, these storms will intensify in the hours to come. But the good news is they are fast moving. And so we're just reiterating to folks, if they are heading out this afternoon, just to plan accordingly, right? If you have an early afternoon flight, if you have to head to the airport, just check those flights before you head out. Check those roads before you leave the house. We know these surfaces, when they get wet, they get slippery at times. But the good news right now, we are heading through Cleveland, right? Is this Cleveland, Gil? I'm with photojournalist Gil this afternoon, and we're heading through Cleveland and specifically Cold Spring, the Cold Spring area. That's the next right coming up on our for the exits. And so the good news right now is things are dry at this moment, but we know that can change at any second, and we of course will be out here with you on this Saturday afternoon monitoring the roadways and conditions. So just to reiterate what we were saying, we're heading south on 59, going through Cold Spring as we speak. We're going to jump on 105 and head west through Cut and Shoe into Conroe. These are the areas that will see these storms before folks living in Cleveland and out east into Liberty, Dayton, those spots. So we will keep you posted, and be sure to download our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. It's right here on our new fancy phones. Mm-hmm. It's really helpful, Brittany. I know we were talking about this earlier, mm-hmm. right?
And you can
customize it to what it is and you can see it, right? It's big enough so you can actually see what it is you're trying to look at. And so right here, as you were saying, it is what, 1241?
Yes.
We are just south of Shepherd, and so if you hit play, you can see these storms. They move in
through
and move right out.
Yep.
Yeah.
what we'll continue to watch. Thank you so much. Yeah, because I believe that you're headed towards Cleveland. So we will continue to watch right here. This cell, basically, it's coming just north of the Bush area into Cleveland. That's one thing that we're going to watch. And then we're going to watch this cell right here to see if it produces, and some lightning now picking up. So it's just east of where Zach was. Again, this is going to be from basically Bush all the way up into Cleveland. That's one potential cell that we will watch. And then the second one, which has picked up just a little bit, is a longer one. So this is I-10, Sealy, Hempstead, all the way up into Huntsville. You can see that is picking up too with those lightning strikes. So that intensity is slowly starting to build as we continue to track this front, again, bringing us those colder temperatures. But when it hits the warm temperatures we're having right now, that's when we have that chance for the intensity to build and that potential for a tornado, which is why we have a tornado watch, which I'll go over in just one second. But looking at this again, Magnolia into Montgomery, you can see 19 lightning strikes, and that rain is coming down as it approaches the Brenham area and just south. But the area where we're seeing all that intensity, again, Magnolia all the way up into Montgomery, we'll continue to watch that. Before we leave you, and we're going to come back here shortly, but before we leave you, I just want to go over one more time what we'll continue to watch and track. It's this front right here as we speak, making its way into Houston. The areas that you now see that are in that dark shade, that maroon, this is now a tornado watch. So for us right here in Harris County until 9 o'clock, and you can see that the Woodlands, Bush, Houston, Sugar Land, Lake Jackson, Galveston, Liberty, Katy, Sugar Land. What we watch with this really is just saying that this is not a warning, but we have to be weather prepared because of the intensity of these storms. It can change just like this. So here's our commitment to you. Our weather team is staffed and our news team behind the scenes around the clock as these storms continue to roll through. We're going to update you on TV and online. If we should have a tornado warning, we will come on to your TV, but we're going to bring you those updates right here on the app. And then of course, if we get any tornado warnings that are serious, we're going to get right down to your street level so that you and your family are prepared. We'll update you on TV and online as we continue to track this serious storm on TV throughout the day. We'll be back in the next hour.
Sugar Land, extending down through Brazoria County there, as well as into Chambers, Galveston, Liberty, even out to portions of Livingston. We are worried about some potential tornadic activity developing. Once again, a watch until 9 p.m. for anywhere in this red color. A watch means we do not have any active tornadoes right now, but we have the ingredients. And if those ingredients all come together and they're cooked, that means we could get that tornadic activity popping off. So that's what we're going to continue to monitor here. As you take a look at your radar right now, it's been pretty active over the last several hours. Going to put that on a loop so you can see the overall direction of those storms. They have been pulling more to the north and northeast, and even along the coast, we're starting to see some more shower activity across places like Galveston, along the Gulf Freeway there. We've seen some wet spots in and around the city of Houston. And if you're on the west side of Harris County, closer to Katy, out to portions of Jersey Village and even Cypress, you're starting to see some of that wet weather as well. That extends out to Huntsville, Livingston, once again, and continues to lift to the north and east. And some of these storms have been moving pretty quickly, more than 40 miles per hour at times. So even though they're moving swiftly, that is showing us that we are seeing some heavy downpours briefly and then moving into the next area. So let's turn on those lightning strikes for you. This is just to give me an indication where we're seeing some of that more energetic storm activity. We started this morning off with mostly showers across the area. Now we're looking at a better opportunity for some more scattered thunderstorms coming from portions of Brazoria County, extending out to the north of Montgomery there into Walker. And you're also noticing that into Liberty, pressing to the north and the east. So take those lightning strikes off for you so we can get a clearer picture, and we'll go from region to region. So I'll start here a little farther to the north as we're into places like Conroe, as well as the Woodlands, Willis, into Huntsville. I'll put that on the pause so we can get a good idea. Notice those reds indicating some heavier downpours, lighter as you head to the west there, into Willis along 75, as well as into New Waverly. That cell continues to move to the north and east. And let's see, I'm going to zoom out just a tad bit to see if I can get the heaviest of that timed out for you here. So once again, these have been moving around 40, some even 50 miles per hour. They have been really racing pretty quickly. And this particular cell continues to move around 40 miles per hour. There is an indication that in some of those higher cloud tops that there could be some small hail. So if you do see any of that, please let us know if you live in that Huntsville area. Once again, this is moving at around 40 miles per hour. And we'll put that in the core of the storm. So if you are headed once again around let's see, this is a different tool, excuse me there. So if you're headed around the Huntsville area to the north and east, once again, 40 miles per hour is around what this storm is moving. There doesn't seem like there's a lot of communities in that area, so that's why that came up blank. But notice Trinity, you're already noticing the lightest. I believe that you could still see some of that heavy rain come your way. If you have any travel plans along 19 or 190, expect some more heavy downpours as well. Once again, this does not seem like a populated area because our computer system did not pick up any major communities. 287, but for you Saturday, you might be headed out to the lake or anything like that. If you're on any of these roads or plan to head to any of these roads, just know that this storm will be coming your way. Notice on Alaska, on the wet side of things, going to continue to notice these showers pushing across your community. Cold Spring also noticing that wet weather. Then let's drop to the south here. Across Panorama Village, you're on the back end of that cell that continues to pull to the north. And if you're in Conroe, you are missing the heaviest of that wet weather, but there's still some cells back to your west that could develop. And notice we just got a new radar loop into the system there. That's going to continue to push on in. So let's take you out to 146 here and 190. This is just to the east of Livingston, just to the east of 59, to the east of Shepherd. Also seeing that out to 190 and Woodville. And we're also going to say this is moving around 40 miles per hour. I'm going to take you into the core of that system and try to get it all the way out to 40 miles per hour. My hand's a little wonky. I have to zoom out a little bit more. So that's, I'm going to zoom out for you. Once again, these are some areas that are a little less populated, more grassland. So they may not pop up as many communities as we would like. But if you're familiar out to the east of Livingston, pushing into Woodville, you are going to be encountering this stream of showers moving to the north and east. As we head to the south here, out to portions of Mount Bellevue, also noticing heavy downpours. Let me see if that storm cell, has a few lightning strikes on it. That will continue to monitor as you head to the east along Interstate 10. Also seeing that down through portions of Texas City and into the island. So as we zoom in a bit closer, just to the north of Texas City here, we are noticing along 146. If you're to the north and east of Lamarck in some of these communities, such as the Heights, 25th Avenue North, Palmer Highway, even Atwater Highway, you're experiencing some heavy downpours there. And can't rule out gusty winds. All of this week we have been really gusty because ahead of that front, we had that southerly wind, and that front is now pushing. So I expect those winds to remain breezy, especially when we get these storms going as well. Check out Pearland. This is a very populated area. A lot of people out and about here on Saturday. We are going to continue to notice showers and thunderstorms picking up in the center of Pearland. Shadow Creek Ranch High School, if you're in and around that community along 288, you just got finished with some of the heaviest of that rain that continues to pull to the north and east into Brookside Village, as well as along Beltway 8 on the southern side of the belt there. Hobby, you want to check in if you do have any plans to travel this evening. There could be some minor delays here as we see these scattered thunderstorms continue to lift to the north and east. Checking out South Houston and Pasadena right now, you're looking at some light to moderate showers, and we're going to continue to see those showers across our area. So I'm going to go back to that wide view once again. Sometimes the computer does what it wants, but we're going to reset here as you head back through Katy and Sugar Land across portions of Fort Bend. Notice that we don't have any active thunderstorms, but those streaming showers that have been heavy to moderate. I'm going to zoom in, and then I'm going to head back to that northern cell that is along 45 North. So Katy, Fulshire, Rosenberg, East Bernard, even into Mission Bend along 99. We're looking at those scattered moderate to heavy downpours that continue to stream once again north and east. If you are along Highway 6 and towards Meadow Place, you're also experiencing just a few showers out to Town West there, extending back through A-Leaf. So yes, we talked about the chance for rain for mostly everyone, but even though it's not widespread, it's coming here and there. That's been the nature of this. Once again, this is an active cell out to Huntsville, and this Huntsville has been the place where we've seen some of the heavier rain. So I won't be surprised when it's all said and done that their total's a little bit higher compared to points to the west of Huntsville and even to the south. Right now, plenty of lightning strikes there, indicating that that storm cell, and in fact, showing some more indication that it's still growing some strength there. As you notice those purples mixing in, that means it could be potentially a good updraft. I mean, the winds are so strong, keeping that thunderstorm growing. And if we do get a good updraft, we could also see the chance for some hail to develop. This is once again along just to the east of Huntsville, pushing into Riverside along 190. And let's see if I can get some more familiar roads with you there. Dodge, Harmony, some other communities, Carolina, Riverside, Palmetto Park, Oakhurst. If you're in any of these areas, just know that you could be pushing into that heavier batch of rain. Phelps already in it, as well as Pine Valley with heavy downpours. And then as we head back, I'm coming back through some of those same areas. Cold Spring, you're still looking at those streamers of showers and thunderstorms pushing into your area this afternoon. And I want to zoom on out for you one more time. We have our Zach Lash. Where is he? I'm sorry. Oh, okay. He's in San Jacinto County. These are one of those areas that when we were putting this forecast together throughout this week, that the northeastern counties, such as San Jacinto, as well as into Polk, Northern Liberty, Montgomery, those were the areas that we were most concerned with. So we wanted Zach to kind of head out there just in case any of those storms got feisty. Now, on his drive there, from what I've been hearing over the last hour or two, they've been running into some rain here and there. So, Zach, what does that look like right now? And kind of paint the picture of what you've been seeing on your drive out to our northeastern counties.
Hey there, Daji. Yes, pockets of rain along 59. We are on 59 North in San Jacinto County, just passing through Shepherd. I want to give you a live look of the roads. You can see they are wet, indicating heavy rain moved through here. We are anticipating in about 30 minutes to 45 minutes, another cell will pass through this area, west to east. Again, we're 59 North. That is Shepherd in San Jacinto County. And as you describe those pockets of rain, that is what we're seeing to the northeast of the metro area this afternoon. It's not really impacting traffic all that much. You can see we're maintaining an appropriate speed, as are other vehicles out here. But if you are heading out this afternoon, depending on where you are, know that those showers could be heavy at times. That could impact visibility. It also will certainly impact your speed, right? These surfaces are wet in some spots. They could be slippery. So just be mindful if you are heading out this afternoon, if you have errands to run, if you have plans, make sure those plans are still in place. If you have travel plans in and out of our airports, whether that be Bush or Hobby, check with your airline's app before heading out. It's always good to know if this inclement weather will impact inbound and outbound flights. But this is the story this afternoon. The roads are wet. The wipers are on. We are in San Jacinto County, headed north on 59. We're just passing through Shepherd right now. And a few miles ahead, photojournalist Gil, who's behind the wheel for us, he will flip it around. We're going to head back south toward Cleveland along 59. And again, we're going to stay along this corridor because we know those storms will be here in about 30 to 45 minutes. So we, of course, will keep you posted. And if you haven't already, be sure to download our Storm Tracker 2 app if I can get it loaded here. It's a really great resource. We've been talking about this a lot throughout the afternoon here on KPRC 2+. And it's just, one, it's free, but two, it's a really great tool to have. You can apply different layers. And for me, my favorite is Futurecast, and it shows you exactly the timing of the storms where you're at. So definitely a great resource. We, of course, will keep you updated both on air and online at clicktohouston.com. For now, Daji, we're going to send things back to you in studio.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Gil. Y'all stay safe out there. Pulling up that cell that, Zach mentioned, Hobby. We are looking at some heavy rain and thunderstorms in that area. That continues to move around 40 miles per hour. So in places like Pasadena, Deer Park, as well as in a Channelview, as we continue to the bottom of the hour, closer to 140, 150, you'll start to see those showers and storms continuing to pick up. We're already likely seeing some waves there, but once again, the heaviest where that core is right now, just to the north of Pearland. We'll also see that continue into LaPorte by the time we get into 2 o'clock. And I wouldn't be surprised if it gets there a little earlier because these storms have been zooming on through. As soon as they develop, they are on the move. I want to get back into some of our neighborhoods on the southeastern side of town as you head into South Houston. Once again, Pasadena, Genoa there, East Haven along 3 there, as well as 225. And along the Gulf Freeway, if you're headed south here, that's where we're going to continue to see those showers and storms continuing to fire off. Hefty storms have been developing quickly, once again, moving to the north and east. Brookside Village, you're in the core of some of that rain right now. That will continue to lift out of your area. And as we give you another overview of what is going on here, we're still looking at those clusters of showers and thunderstorms continuing to blow up across across portions of Huntsville. So if you live to the north of Huntsville, that's where we're going to continue to see some of those fiery storms. Also seeing that back through Livingston, to the east of Livingston, through Mount Bellevue. And then on the west side of town, that's where we have heavy rain, but no necessarily lightning. And if you're in places like Missouri City or generally Fort Bend County, you're still looking at no lightning at this point. We want to leave you with our tornado watch. This is a serious situation, even though we're not talking about widespread rain or widespread flooding. Our tornado watch indicates that there are ingredients in the atmosphere, and if they all come together, we could be looking at a potentially dangerous situation. So we just want to make sure everyone's up to date and knows what is going on in their communities. Once again, this is until 9 p.m. this evening. We'll continue to bring you updates here on our stream as well as on TV as we head into later this evening. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us this afternoon. And as we continue through this evening, we're going to try to give you updates here as we continue to close in on our show time, which is 6 p.m. on KPRC 2. Now here online, we're just going to take our time and go through our maps and our radar. But the main reason that we're on here today on our streaming is to talk about the potential for tornadic activity. So the National Weather Service has put out this tornado watch until 9 p.m. And notice that it includes most of Southeast Texas. That's places like Conroe, the Woodlands, out to Houston, back through Sugar Land, even if you're out in Angleton, Pearland, Clear Lake, back through Liberty. And we have been noticing that these storms are very sporadic. They're scattered. They're not a well-formed line. And that's going to continue to be the nature as we head through the rest of tonight. Now, why are we seeing this? We've been talking about a massive storm system that has been stuck across portions of Tennessee as well as Arkansas, leading through the Midwest there. And even though they've had their fair share, more than enough of rain and storms, we have really been on the hot and humid side. But now as this low pressure system pushes a cold front through, that's why we're seeing a more active day with more showers and thunderstorms across Southeast Texas. So let's take a look here at our radar, give you a wide view of what we have been experiencing. And like I said, my computer likes to do whatever it wants sometimes. So let's see if it reset here for me. There we go. That gives you a wide view of where those storms are at this moment. Notice we are still moving. Those storms are still moving northeasterly, and they're ranging from about 35 to 40 miles per hour, depending on the cell. At times earlier, some of them were racing even over 40 miles per hour. So quick moving. That means if you get a downpour, could lead to some brief ponding, but our flooding aspects likely going to be positioned to our north and east because that's where those storms have really blossomed. And we've also noticed some lightning with them, especially on this line back towards the west, across portions of northeastern Harris County and even into Huntsville, where we have experienced rounds of heavy downpours. Seeing that move out of Liberty County right now with a cell there, and then Galveston has been on and off with that rain throughout today. So as we put it in a pause here for you, going to zoom in across a few neighborhoods. I do want to start here out to our north and north and west, across Harris County. We have places like Jersey Village experiencing showers. If you're in Cypress, you are just to the east of Cypress City Center, you might be noticing those heavy downpours and lightning strikes. You're also noticing that wet weather continuing across Tomball. It's light for you, but if you are in and around Charterwood, as well as along 99, headed in Bella Sarah, as well as in Klein, Northampton, extending into the Woodlands, we are noticing that more moderate to heavy rain. Also seeing that pushing in along 242, along 45 there. Woodlock, also looking at some heavier storms and downpours across 242. So as you head north and east of 45, this is where we've seen some of those feistier storms fire up. Four Corners, Cut and Shoot. Also noticing some heavy downpours across portions north of Cut Shoot. This does not look to be very populated there, but if you're sitting to the east of New Waverly or east of Willis, or better indication east of 75, this is where we're looking at some of those heavier downpours, and they're just outside of Cleveland as well as just outside of Shepherd there. As we pull to the south here, back into, across portions of Harris County, if you were to the east of Kingwood, coming out of Atascocita, Huffman, Hidden Echo, there is a line of showers and storms pushing in that area that continues to bring heavy downpours across Wolf Road, Smith Road, Lakewood Heights. If you're in any of those communities, be aware that we'll continue to stay into the cell. Now, once again, the movement of these storms have been to the north and east, and they'll continue to stay on that track. As you head into Houston, we'll head into Houston, then we'll head down to Fort Bend in just a moment. We've noticed showers on and off throughout today. They've been light, they've been heavy at times, but through the city center, there it looks like there's a moderate cell going on right now. Back along 290, extending to Spring Valley and Hunters Creek. A few showers in a Piney Point Village and Janetta. Briar Grove also noticing just a few showers. As I mentioned, I'll head out to portions of Fort Bend County as you drop closer to Highway 6, also noticing some showers. And notice that's not all the way along Highway 6. It's hit or miss. It has been hit or miss with these scattered showers and storms that have been rolling through. But right now into Richmond, as well as in Mission Bend, we're looking at some of that wet weather continuing to move into your area. Pleak along 36, you'll continue to notice some showers pushing in here in just a couple of minutes. And then as we head out to the eastern side of town, if you're in places like Pearland, earlier we were talking about some pretty heavy rain, and I want to make sure I'm on the right radar, so give me 2 seconds here. And yes, we're on that correct radar. So this is where we saw some heavier downpours in places like Pearland, and we continue to notice that wet weather marching across Galveston as well. So if you're down along the island, headed south along the Gulf Freeway, you could encounter some of these showers across portions of 87 there, extending into the village of Tiki Island and Virginia Point. We're seeing some dry time a little bit out to Bahia Vista, but wouldn't be surprised if you get right back into some of that wet weather as we continue throughout this afternoon and evening. So resetting here back to our main view, we're still looking at those heaviest storms continuing to fire off and develop as they push to the north and east of Houston, but in places like Conroe, back through Liberty County, and even getting closer into Beaumont, that's where we are noticing those storms pulling to the north and east. So we want to get with Zach. Zach is out in New Caney. Zach, what have you been seeing in the last hour? Have you ran into any exceptionally heavy rain? Have you noticed anything in the distance?
Yeah, so far things have been dry for us for the most part, right? So we went as far north as Livingston. So we were up in Polk County, we were in San Jacinto County, we were in Liberty County. We're currently in Montgomery County, heading south toward the metro, passing through New Caney. I'm going to flip the camera around so you can see what it is we're looking at right now. Again, we're headed south on 59, and it's dry right here. The sun is actually shining, which is really great news. You look to the west, though, out toward Conroe, and we see what it is you're tracking, Daji. We see those dark clouds, right, indicating that those rain showers are starting to impact that area. But for us, it's been mostly dry. We've ran into pockets of rain here and there, but again, for the most part, dry conditions, which we're not complaining about. However, I do want to note, it was really interesting because I'm here with photojournalist Gil. Gil, I think it was when we were up in San Jacinto and Polk, you know, it's been in the 80s this entire day for us. But when we got north up there, the temperature drastically dropped about 10 degrees. We went from like 81 to about 70, 71, and right now we're back up to 82 degrees. So I know when this front moves through and when it's over with, we're going to be dealing with cooler temperatures and less humidity. When I put the window down right now, it's still pretty humid. It's still pretty wet out there, wet feeling anyway. And again, it's back up into the 80s. So we're heading south, passing exit 153. I can see what appears to be, I believe this plane is landing, coming in for a landing at Bush. We're going by Kingwood Drive. In about 3/4 of a mile, we'll be passing Kingwood Drive. So again, right now things are dry. I know that's not the case for everyone throughout the metro, right? These showers have been popping up. The good news is it's not as organized as we were initially forecasting, so that's really great. And again, the cloud shelf here is quite high and it's pretty bright, so we'll take that, especially with all things considering. But yeah, that's the latest here along 59. Again, we were up in Polk, San Jacinto, Liberty, Montgomery, and now we're coming down into Harris. We'll be in Harris County very shortly, and things remain dry, Daji.
Yeah, Zach put it perfectly. You know, you might hit some of this rain, you might not. And then you're also going to notice as we head through tonight, there's going to be a big temperature switch going on as we get behind the cold front. So ahead of it, still a lot of moisture. We've been talking about dew point temperature sitting in the 70s. And so that's really, really muggy air. But it also gives us the opportunity, if we see any storms that come together, that they will create some heavy downpours, which we have seen across portions of Montgomery County there, mainly even out to the north into Huntsville throughout the last several hours. So once again, going to put this on a loop for you over the last hour, showing you the momentum and movement of those storms pushing to the north and east. If you're in downtown out to Fort Bend, out to Wharton, you're seeing some showers here and there at this particular moment, but the heaviest has really been focused out to portions north and east of Harris County. And even as we head to the north here, I know you're probably wondering, hey, what are some of those boxes? This is well out of our area, but that is where we're also seeing some flooding concerns out to Nacogdoches and Lufkin. As for us right now, things are still looking good because the storms have been moving pretty swiftly. So that's good news. We haven't seen any reports on flooding that I know of. But if you do, once again, live in these areas in and around Conroe, extending through the Woodlands, this is where we continue to see those showers and storms press to the northeast. These storms are moving around 30 miles per hour. And I want to get back to the northwestern side of Harris County. If you're along 99 or 249 there, you are encountering heavy downpours and frequent lightning. This includes neighborhoods in between Tomball and Charterwood. So if you're on Louetta Road, Spring Cypress Road, the Tomball Tollway, or have plans to be there soon, just know that you could encounter some of that heavier rain. And then as we look upstream here, some of that could continue, at least some of the heaviest, to work its way out to Willow, where you're already noticing those heavy downpours, Mossy Oak, Stone Mill Courts, as well as in the Forest Northeast. So Grand Parkway, just on the edge of that, you'll be getting into some of those heavier downpours, as I mentioned. We are going to see some improvements here eventually. So I want to show you the future track. This continues to show that that line pushes on out. And yes, our models did good with the timing, but not so good with in terms of a structured line. That looks very structured here on the model, but as we know, it's been a little bit more sporadic when it comes to those storms. Now, we will continue to see that move to the east as it does, so there could be some storms still popping up here and there, but about 8 and 9 p.m., we should start to see some relief. I'm still not ruling out a few showers through the overnight or a storm as you head into your Sunday, and then by Sunday afternoon, most of us should continue to see dry conditions as we get rid of that energy and high pressure builds in. So that's going to allow for a temperature change, less humidity across the area, and we'll also see winds break down. So we haven't been showing you this 10-day forecast. I want to bring that up. Once again, major improvements and a huge cool down. We'll be in the 60s Sunday and Monday, and we'll even have those overnight lows pushing back into, or pushing down into the 50s and 40s here as we head into the new week. And then we'll return to some more heat on the backside of that 10-day forecast. Once again, just reiterating that we do have these showers and thunderstorms still across the area. Going to put that in play mode, and then I'm going to step off the screen briefly to see if I can answer any questions for anybody there on Facebook or YouTube. Feel free to also send us emails if you do have any particular questions. We will try to get to them. So let me make sure my volume is down, and let's see. Make sure I'm in the right spot. I'll go back up and see if I can find anything. So some of you are interested in certain neighborhoods, so we'll continue to go back into those neighborhoods. But notice here, over the last hour, if you were on the east side of town in places like Pasadena, Galena Park, or even Baytown, we are seeing major improvements. The heaviest has moved out to our north and east. The same cannot be said, once again, if you're closer to Cypress, pushing into the woodlands, as well as into spring there. That's where we've been noticing those showers and storms blossoming, and still looking at some heavy rounds of downpours. Let's see if I can get on Facebook. That was YouTube. Someone said it's... And also, I love the interaction. I love the comments. If you have click 2 pins, we want to see them. Someone said it has been dark in their neighborhood, you know, as these storms may be on the horizon. Send that in, especially if you're in a safe spot. We would love to share your storm experience as long as you are doing it safely here. So let me head over to our Facebook page on Facebook here and see if I can answer any of your questions. Okay, so I see some, how's it looking for Livingston and Conroe? And then someone said it's been really raining really hard here in Chambers County in the last 30 minutes. Yes, heavy rain. Erica says heavy rain in Cypress. Thank you for that. Chuck says, are there any trees near where you park your fleet? How long is the tornado season down there? Oh, he's watching from San Antonio. Okay, so, all right, let's, we'll dive into those neighborhoods such as Cypress, leading into Conroe, because that's where we have been seeing some of our heaviest and most intense storms and most consistent weather as those storms press to the north and east. So yes, we have a lot of lightning strikes. Going to take that off and zoom in, maybe get into your neighborhood. You will continue to see this lift to the north and east. So back through the Woodlands, Northampton, and then as you head into Cypress here, I know there's some little, I shouldn't say little, but pockets in each neighborhood. So if you hear me call your name right now, I'm going to tell you what you're looking at. Cypress, Hot Wells, you're doing good. You're saying goodbye to that heavy wet weather that continues to push into places north of Park Forest. Cypress Fields also looking at major improvements. And if you're along Spring Cypress Road, if you're headed north and east, so if you're headed away from Cypress City Center, you're going to continue to hit into those showers on Louetta Road, as well as North Eldridge Parkway. And as you head over the Tomball Tollway, we're going to continue to see that wet weather once again expand, and we're even going to notice that into Creekside Park as well as the Woodlands. And then as we head back through spring there, showers will continue, and even some heavy pockets just to the south of Westfield. Now notice Bush here, things are not as extreme, but you're just on the edge. So that's why we continue to tell you to keep an eye out on your flight plans throughout this evening. And we want to get an update with Zach on his travels in our storm tracker.
Hey Daji, we are now on the Beltway headed west. We're gonna hook up onto 45 and then head north. But I want to show you, take a look at this. This is the scene along the Beltway right now. You can see just how dark it is to our west and to our north. It's dry where we're at. You just saw the sign for JFK Boulevard, so that gives you an idea on where we're located, right? Not too far from Bush. But this is how dark it is out here. Still dry, but I guarantee you in a few miles along the Beltway, before we get onto 45, we probably should start experiencing rain showers. And I would probably suspect they will be heavy. You can feel the temperature difference, right? Change. Of course, we have the air conditioning on in the car. Photojournalist Gil, who's behind the wheel, he actually just took his sunglasses off. He's had his sunglasses on because it's been so bright traveling south on 59. But now that we're on the Beltway heading west, again, we're going to catch 45 here in just a little bit. we're seeing a change. I wish I could point the camera to our north a little bit, because you can see the juxtaposition in the sky between the white clouds and the storm clouds, the dark clouds, and it's quite the sight to see. I don't think I can turn this camera. No, it's pretty fixed. Yeah, no, it's not moving. Oh, there you go. Gil's got it there. Yeah, check it out. See, now yeah, that's just a little bit to the left, Gil. Yep, there we go. Perfect. Yeah, so it's pretty dark as we head west along the Beltway, the Hardy Toll Road coming up here in about a half a mile, and it appears traffic is starting to slow as we approach this area. That could be one just due to your typical congestion on a Saturday afternoon, right? But it also could be because of the storms passing through. I'm actually quite surprised to see that we haven't run into any rain just yet. It does appear to be raining to the north and around us. I'm not sure. I believe I might have lost our signal. I'm going to try dialing back in if I'm still on. But again, we are along the Beltway right now, heading west to 45. We're going to catch 45, and we're going to go north on 45. But Daji, as you can see, conditions remain dry as we speak, but that could potentially change here in the next few minutes as we continue to head west into that cell. Yep, as we speak, some raindrops hitting the windshield there. Can you hear me, Daji?
Yeah, I can hear you, Zach. Yeah, so where you're located, I have it pulled up on my radar right now. You were coming kind of close to Will Clayton. You said JFK, and there's a cell. You're probably going to drive into it or close to it, and it looks pretty heavy, so I wouldn't be surprised if eventually you hit some heavy rain if it doesn't move to the north and east. So I just got a new radar loop in, and it looks like it's pulling to the north and east, so you might be on the tail end depending on the exact speed of the storm compared to your speed, which you are going slower than the storm at this point. But that's what you're seeing in the distance out to Westfield, Farrell Road. There's a cell that has heavy rain with it, and it continues to move to the north and east. So yeah, y'all have been pushing to the west there, and that's where that line of storms has just been pulling to the north and east, and so gloomy. But I like this, how you were showing those clouds and the vantage point, because yes, it's dry in some neighborhoods, right? But then we have these big cells dropping in rain and then moving out. And so it's hard in a car to sometimes catch up with that, but it just goes to show you that yes, you may not be seeing rain in your neighborhood right now, but it could be on the way, especially in our northern county. So that's what we are going to continue to watch out for. But Zach, let me know when you do, if you do hit that particular cell that I'm mentioning here, and we'll get right back to you to give everyone a live look of you in Storm Tracker.
Daji, before we let you go, just since we started chatting with you this go around, when we first started talking, it was about 82 degrees. It's now down to 74 degrees. So again, the temperatures out here are very volatile.
Yes, and it's some of that's rain cooled, and then once that final front comes in, you're gonna be like, wow, it feels like spring.
Oh, it's very breezy, very windy.
Oh yeah, so you're probably let me see if I can zoom out.
Significantly cooler.
Yeah. There might be a
significantly cooler and very windy.
So Zach, if you're looking at the screen right now, tuning into me and Zach here, he's in this general area, and there looks like there might just be a little potential outflow boundary coming off some of these thunderstorms that are continuing to push to the north and east. So he's seeing a cool down there, and I wouldn't be surprised in some of these neighborhoods it might be cooler as that rain is falling, and definitely going to be picking up on some of those winds. So going to zoom back in here. Once again, this is to the north and west of Bush as you head closer to the East Hardy Road there and into Cypress Wood Drive. into spring. And in fact, spring, you're probably seeing some improvements as you're getting on the backside of that heavy cell. However, want to zoom right back out as you head well to the west on 99. Northampton, the Woodlands, Shenandoah, Woodlock, you're still looking at a hefty amount of rain there coming down, and even noticing some purple there indicating there might be some hail trying to develop in that cell, but lightning is still continuing as well. As we continue to monitor this, the overall picture, as I've continued to mention, is that it's moving to the north and east. I had someone in the comments say, what about Conroe? So we'll touch there briefly. Into Conroe, you are now still in that line that has been pushing to the north and east, but notice you're in the green zone. That means lighter showers in comparison to where you were just a few moments ago. However, you could still get clipped with some of that wet weather that's still coming out of the south there. Cut Shoot, if you're just outside of Conroe and Beach, Four Corners, Cut Shoot, Waukegan, you might also encounter some more rain as well as some heavier downpours, not just rain, but some potential moderate to heavy downpours. And then want to zoom back out. Let's get back out to Cold Spring and Livingston. This is also where we're continuing to notice those showers and storms move to the north and east, and bringing heavy downpours along 156 and 150. Also seeing that out to 190 as well, some of that shower activity. So if you're in Livingston, anticipate for some of that heavy rain to push into your area as these storms continue to lift to the north and east. It's going to be rounds of it. You might get a break and may think it's done, but as we take a look downstream, there's still plenty of moisture that continues to fire on up. As for, want to get back to that north area out to Bush where Zach was driving into, we're still looking at those showers and thunderstorms from 45 and in between 59 there. And that continues to press its way to the north and east. Bush right now looking at some heavier rain, and let's see if that has any lightning on it. This particular cell does not have any lightning, but definitely the rain, as we saw in Zach's picture from the storm tracker, it's a gloomy sight out there. And once again, these are sporadic in nature in terms of this disorganized line that just continues to keep coming on through. As you head to the south in Fort Bend, now we're starting to see some streamers develop down there. Also seeing that out to portions of Brazoria, and then as you head into Matagorda, just to the east of Bay City and to the west of Sweeney, there's a streamer there that continues to push its way across the area. And let's see how that's going in direction. Yeah, streaming in from the south, moving to the north and northeast. And Needville, you're looking at wet conditions as we get a little closer into portions of Fort Bend there, just to the south of 69. Still looking at some scattered shower activity continuing into Sugarland. Also noticing that through Meadows Place and Mission Bend along Highway 6 as you push closer to Beltway 8. And this is where we are at KPRC. We have seen some on and off showers, and we could potentially see some more. So this is once again A-Leaf, Bel Air West, out to Sharpstown, near Houston Christian University. Also seeing that continue to push into Bel Air High School, and just kind of giving you some ideas of some places that you may know. NRG dry now, but once again, this line continues to trickle in those showers as it moves a little further to the east. So that's what we're going to continue to monitor here. Right now, no active warnings in our area. Frequent lightning and heavy downpours continue to focus along 45. We are still looking at those showers and storms creating issues well to our north. So if you do have any plans to travel north this weekend, I would kind of think twice, because they are dealing with some flooding in places like Nacogdoches and Lufkin. But as for here at home, flooding right now is not currently an issue, and that is likely because these storms have been moving quite swiftly. I would still keep the umbrella around. I would still make sure you have a way to receive alerts because we are still dealing with our tornado watch until 9 p.m. across most of our counties here. That does include Houston, Missouri City, Sugar Land, out to Galveston, Clear Lake, Liberty, Conroe, Livingston there. So we just want everyone to know that this is happening and make sure you have a plan in place if you are out and about on this weekend. Please, once again, as I said, if you have any questions, we'll continue to check those chats for comments, and we'll continue to give you an update on this radar if we do see any warnings come into play.
Toward the woodlands, toward spring.
Oh, are we? Oh. Oh, it's okay. I didn't know if we were bringing it. Okay. Hey y'all, we're back because Zach did in fact start to interact with some of that rain that's situated to our north. He was out close to Bush there, headed towards 45. So just giving you an idea of where he might be and also where we've been seeing once again the heaviest of that rain. This is in between 45 and 69. Zach was traveling south on 69 earlier. Then he started to head to the west here along portions of, I believe, the belt. Don't quote me on that, but he was close to Bush along JFK. So he's probably interacting with this right now. And then if you're not in that area close to that, just know that to the north in the Woodlands and Conroe, there's also pretty hefty rain and storms coming down. And that continues to extend into Cold Spring and just to the east of Livingston's city center. So we're going to continue to monitor that. So, but first I want to take you out to Zach. Zach and Storm Tracker?
Yes, Daji, hello. Hey. You know, if the mission was to avoid rain, we did that until now. Moments ago, we ran through one of those cells, or we drove through one of those cells. I want to give you a look at what it looks like right now. We're heading along 45 northbound Spring. We're going to hook up on 99, take that east and back to 59. And so we've spent much of the afternoon along 59. We went as far north as Polk County, San Jacinto, Liberty, Montgomery, and of course Harris. We took the Beltway over to 45 and we're heading north on 45. And moments ago, the rain was coming down pretty significantly. The temperature also dropped from 83 degrees to 66 degrees. It's 66 degrees right now. I'm going to roll down the window. Of course, it is very wet out there because of the water coming off the roads, but it's also significantly cooler. And so this afternoon, if you are along 45, be careful. Give yourself plenty of time, plenty of space between you and the car ahead of you. These roads are wet in spots. They could be slippery. And really that's been the theme the past 20 minutes or so along 45. Dry to the east, dry over in Cleveland, but that could be changing as this cell continues to push east and north. Those folks might be getting their fair share of rain. As I look to the north, specifically to the west, it appears to be dark that way. I know it's tough to see in these cameras. It's not always the clearest, but this is what it looks like right now along 45 as we head through spring. Our wipers are on. It's not raining like it was. I know as you were wrapping up that last cut-in, Daji, of course, that's when we ran into those showers. And the moment we go off, the rain really picked up. And so we informed our director, and so she came back on. She put us back on, and so that's why we're talking to you now, showing you what it looks like. As we were joking earlier, you know, the mission was to find rain, and somehow we were not able to until now. So it's raining now. The temperature has dropped significantly. I think the highest, Gil, was 83 degrees, and now it's 66 degrees. So significantly cooler. If you have plans outside, you're probably going to want to, bring a light jacket with you. I think it feels refreshing compared to what it was earlier. It was extremely muggy out, very humid, and although it is wet, it is a lot cooler. And so I know for folks looking ahead to Sunday into Monday, I know this front, after it passes through, those temperatures are going to be significantly cooler, especially those overnight hours. Daji, for now, we're going to, like I said, continue to head north. We're going to take 99, which is a few miles up here, right? It's actually right here. It's right here. Wow, time flies when we're talking and driving. So we're going to take 99 east to 59. And so if you've been following along with us this afternoon, we've done almost, well, at least the past half hour, we've just done a big circle. Check this out. So we're going under the overpasses. This is to 99, and you can see again to our north more dark skies. And so perhaps those folks up in the woodlands are dealing with some rain right now. Yep. So the woodlands, Conroe, people who are up there, they have a cell moving through as we speak. We're on the tail end. We're on the south end of that cell as it passes by, but it's moving, northeast, again up into the woodlands in Conroe. Huntsville is just north of that cell, so they might be out of the showers by now, but it looks like, Daji, as we head north on 45, we're coming up to some more rain. You can see the dark skies up there, up ahead.
Yeah, Zach, if you continue north on 45, once you hit 242, you might be in the thick of some of that wet weather. That's where we have some thunderstorms going on right now. So you said you're going at 99. There are also some showers back towards 99 towards the east. So they continue to stream to the northeast. You'll likely run into some more windshield wiper weather there. See the windshields going, but also see that dark sky in the background. And that, once again, is those storms that are just to your north. We are going to continue to monitor that. Right now, no severe warnings from what I see here on our map. Let me head back on my radar here. No severe warnings from what I see on our map. Once again, this is all due to this big low pressure system that has been pushing through, and it's going to help push a front through, and that's why I've been noticing this active weather. So going to head back into where Zach, in and around where Zach is located, and what we're noticing here are heavy downpours coming across portions of Conroe as well as in the cut shoot, frequent lightning as well. That also includes Woodlock. So 45 north as if you're along 75, and then as you pivot to the east, that's where the cell continues to move. We'll also notice that cell, an extension of it, it's kind of in the same line, and bringing impacts across Cold Spring as well as into on Alaska, and likely could see some more heavy downpours in the Livingston as we continue here. But if you're Moore Hill, Tigerville, Tobacco Patch, West Tempe, you're also looking at heavy downpours, some purple on the map indicating that there could be enough updraft, enough winds going up in the thunderstorm to create some hail there. These have been the areas that have been most consistent with the rain, I would say, from Huntsville, even though right now Huntsville is on the drier side. Let me zoom on out for you there. So Huntsville is on the drier side, but earlier you had some pretty nasty downpours. Now that continues to focus its way closer to 59 in and around Livingston. Trinity, you're tapping into just a few showers to your south and east. And then once again, Conroe, where it's the weekend, a lot of people want to get on the boat, go camping, all that stuff. Well, for today, it's going to be a little muddy out there as those storms and showers continue to push to the north and east. As we head down back into the woodlands, you're still experiencing showers there. And let's see if there's any lightning. No lightning, luckily for the woodlands, but once again, it's to the north of Shenandoah, where we're still experiencing some of the worst of that storm system. To the east of Tomball, continuing to the Preserve, Northampton along 99. You're also looking at those showers streaming on in. And let me give you a wider view. I want to see what's going down to the south here, because it was quiet when we last checked in. Now we're starting to see those storms continue to stream across the area. And I just want to make sure I'm on the right radar. Yep. Okay. And so we're continuing to see those storms, showers rather, excuse me, stream in closer to Highway 6 out to Fort Bend County. So Sugar Land, I know, the town center is a great place to have fun, get some ice cream, but you might be eating the ice cream inside today with the kiddos. Also seeing some of that wet weather on the edge of Missouri City, out to First Colony, looking at wet conditions. And then as we head into Whaley's Corner, just to the east of you, some heavier downpours. So yes, you might be experiencing heavy downpours. These are overall the system that is creating this, the cells within it continue to build and then lift to the northeast. And once they get going, they do move pretty swiftly. So we haven't seen a ton of flooding. Once again, looking at some very spotty activity out to the east side of town. If you're in Galena Park, Pasadena, even out to Baytown, through Galveston right now, not looking too bad. But our main concern is here, and it looks like, let me take that line out. It looks like we got a special weather statement out to Livingston. So let me put that in frame for you. Let me see. That is for, once again, Polk County, 3:45 p.m. And this storm system, once again, has been pretty fiery. And this has been the track here. We've seen these storms continue to press to the north and east of 59 and then take off as they head into places like Lufkin as well as into Nacogdoches. So let's see how fast this storm system is moving. It's moving around 36 miles per hour. Once again, that northeasterly movement. Could be some hail in there. Special weather statements means this is sub-severe. So the winds are likely less than that 60 miles per hour, but it's still going to be breezy out there with heavy downpours, and as we've noticed, plenty of lightning. So still dangerous enough that if you were planning to be outside, we're outside, head inside, wait till it passes. If you're driving, just know you are going to be experiencing, or if you know anybody on the roads, you are going to be experiencing the chance for some reduced visibility with this heavy rain as it continues to move to the north and east. It doesn't really, we don't really have too many communities in this area. And so if you, once again, know anybody driving along 59, to the north, they will be hitting or encountering this heavy rain. Corrigan in the path of the core of this cell. If you're in Livingston, the worst is to your west, but you're still going to be experiencing some moderate rain at times. And then even into Onalaska there, that continues to be very feisty for you as well. Going to zoom back out and let's take a look at this storm system coming out of Conroe. Once again, that's going to continue to move. These have been zipping, man. I'm telling you, this is saying around almost 50 miles per hour for that northeasterly movement. And the good news is that because they're moving so fast, we haven't seen a ton of flooding. But my concern here, because places like Huntsville, Conroe, Livingston have been in that northeasterly track for these showers and storms. If we continue to see training throughout this afternoon and evening, that may lead to some additional flood concerns. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. But the movement is something that I'm positive about because they're moving out so quickly. We're going to continue to see those showers streaming. The interesting thing about this, we go from nothing, some sunshine, a little showers, and then those storms continue to pop. So we're noticing some showers trying to develop within the loop here now along 59 headed to Beltway 8. And then let's get you out to Highland Heights, Melrose Park, Hawthorne Place, Calgary Woods. You're going to continue to experience some showers streaming in. Once again, none of these are severe, just very inconvenient, especially for a Saturday. Downtown Houston, we have experienced showers on and off throughout today. Continue to see that. As you head out to the southwest here, Meadows Place, pushing into portions of Fort Bend. Also noticing a cluster of showers. Mission Bend, you're looking dry right now. But as we know, today we have picked up some rain. Out to Iowa Colony, south of Highway 6, leading into Manville. Arcola, you're looking at that streamer shower that will continue to press to the north and east. Manville looking pretty dry right now. We'll still see some wet conditions as you head south along Highway 6, closer to 45, also known as the Gulf Freeway. And then as you head into Galveston, not too much to report there. We're also looking at some wet conditions back through 225. Deer Park. You're looking at wet weather, nothing extremely heavy. But if you are closer to the Beltway, back through Red Bluff Road, or Red Bluff Road headed to the west there, you're going to run into a pocket of heavy rain. We continue to see those spotty showers as well into Channelview, headed to the north and east, moving north of Interstate 10. And then we're going to take you back to our concern zone. As you head out to Bush, Humble, you're looking at showers continuing. Let me zoom on out, get back to the north there from about Conroe once again into Cold Spring, pushing into Onalaska and Livingston. This is where we have the heaviest of the rain, sometimes moderate, sometimes more heavy than we would like. This is also where we have our special weather statement. Once again, special weather statement is not quite severe, but it's still a concern here, bringing frequent lightning as well as some heavy downpours and gusty winds. Those wind gusts still below 60 miles per hour, but enough to make you want to go inside. So now we're going to toss to Zach back in the storm tracker. He's going to give us a live update. Zach, what have you been seeing here?
Hey, Daji, a little bit of the same as earlier. The rain continues. We just made a U-turn in the Woodlands at the mall. We're heading south on 45 as we speak. Our wipers are working this afternoon as the rain is, like you said earlier, right? It's picking up. In one spot, the bottom's falling out. In the next location, 5 miles down the road, the sun is shining. We've noticed, though, temperatures have dropped significantly. Earlier, we were at a very warm, muggy 83 degrees. We are now at a very chilly and wet 64 degrees. It's cool out there. It's significantly cooler than what it was earlier. When you factor in the rain, it stings a little bit, right? As you're driving down the road, putting your hand out the window. So our plan now, Gil, is to head south on 45. Going to take 99 east to 59. And so earlier this afternoon, we were up in Polk County, we were up in Livingston, we were in San Jacinto, we were in Liberty, we were in Montgomery, and of course Harris. And so we were sort of joking earlier and saying, you know, the mission was to go out and find rain, and unfortunately we didn't really see much of it until, I would say, around 3:15. No, not 3:15. What time is it? It's 3:03. Around 2:15 is when we ran into rain. When we came south on 59, we took we took the Beltway west to 45, and it was shortly after when we got onto 45, we started dealing with some rain showers. And so as I look to the south, but particularly the southwest, it looks like it's a little clearer that direction. We're going to head south and then east. And so as we know, these systems have been moving from the south to the north. Some have been tracking a little to the east. And so we're going to see what we see over in Montgomery County as we make our way east. But yeah, this afternoon, a little after 3 o'clock, we've been on the air now for almost an hour. We came on at 2:15. We've been talking about conditions throughout the northern part of the metro. Like I said, as far north as Polk County into San Jacinto, Liberty, Montgomery, and Harris. This is the first time we've been dealing with some rain showers for about the last 45 minutes or so along that 45 corridor from the city up north to the Woodlands. And so as we make our way south along 45, I see a sign here for 99. That's west. We're looking for 99 east. We're going to hook up on 99 and head out to Montgomery 259, and we'll bring you an update if we're still on the air. But I think, right, Daji, the good news at this point is a lot of these cells should be winding down, or at least moving out of our area for the rest of the afternoon.
So as we take a look at the bigger picture, we're going to watch that front roll through. Once that front clears, we lose some of it. I know it's hard to see sun where you are, but we lose some of that daytime heating. Yeah. That threat is going to continue to decrease, but there could still be some showers around through the overnight. I do think that severe risk will drop out as we head through the rest of your Saturday night. However, through this afternoon, we're still seeing these streamers develop, and as they hit that northeasterly track, that's where we have that concern. So the places that you were mentioning, such as Huntsville, back through portions of Livingston, even into Cleveland, and that's where we have the cause for concern, because that's where the track of storms have been pretty consistent. And as we look to the north upstream, they continue to fire off. Once again, we are still looking at a special weather statement that does include portions of Livingston, as well as Onalaska, Corrigan, along 59 there, excuse me. And this special weather statement was for 40-mile-per-hour winds, as well as some hail there. And we can even see here on the radar that there is an indication of some hail in these storm cells. So with that being said, that's why we're saying not quite severe, but enough to make you want to be somewhere where you are safe and dry at minimum. As we look down to the south here, still watching this cell zipping to the north and east around 45 miles per hour. And that's going to continue to push right into some of those places that are currently experiencing some heavy rainfall. With that heavy rainfall, let me see if I can get that off the screen for you. With that heavy rainfall, we're going to continue to monitor the opportunity and look at that. The National Weather Service putting out a special weather statement on that. This particular cell, once again, including portions of San Jacinto County, Montgomery County, and we're also looking San Jacinto. So if you're in Cold Spring through Livingston, there's 2 separate special weather statements for 2 different cells that continue to track pretty swiftly to the north and east. Frequent lightning with these storm systems, as well as heavy downpours. And we're also looking at some strong winds as well. Is that 40 mile per hour?
40 mile per hour winds and half-inch hail.
Half-inch hail as well because of this storm system that is moving mainly to the north and east. That does still include cut shoot. So earlier when we're talking about Conroe, that cell has now moved, at least the heaviest has moved to your north and east of 75, and continues to eventually join up here on the back side of this cell that is to the north of Livingston. And Livingston right now, you're experiencing some heavy downpour. So would like to show some of that to you if we can get some roads popping up. So and some more cities. If you live in and around the high school, you have been experiencing heavy downpours. And that continues into 146 as well as Liberty Avenue. We're also continuing to see West Livingston getting a slight break from the heavy rain. But as I mentioned, there's something on the tail end of that particular cell that's to our south. Another cell is going to move in. Tobacco Path, Blanchard, Tigerville. If you're in any of these communities, if you hear me call your name out, just make sure you are inside watching us. Don't sit on the porch, go inside. Cold Spring, also looking at, once again, some stronger storm potential. And we'll also continue to see that out to Cedar Lane, County Line Road, pushing to the north and east into Tanyard Road. If you, once again, are to the east of Willis, Panorama Village, have any plans to be there, you want to make sure you are finding a place that is dry and comfortable. And the interesting thing, I'm going to keep saying this throughout the day, is that throughout today, we've been seeing these storms really track their way to the north and east, and we haven't seen too much in the way of flooding yet. But if they keep coming into the same communities over and over again, even though they're fast moving, that same space getting hit by the same rain is called training, and that's where we could see the potential for some flooding concerns. So we'll keep an eye on that. As we take you back down through Harris County, Fort Bend, there's still streamers coming in right now. None of those are warned or any special weather statements to the south. In fact, no lightning, but we have noticed the trend here is that they'll get going as showers, they'll get enough energy to continue to build, and eventually as they make their way to the north and east, they become thunderstorms like we're seeing right now across portions of Livingston, as well as on Alaska, and also into Cold Spring. So going to take everything off the map here so we can clear everything up. Once again, this is the general area where we have 2 separate special weather statements for 40 mile per hour winds. So it's pretty gusty as that storm rolls through, as well as half-inch hail that extends just to the north of Conroe, and we'll look for some communities here. And it seems like it's not as popular, which is a good, but if you are near Menard or Pumpkin along 150, expect to see some more heavy downpours and frequent lightning. Once again, where we're seeing these purple on the radar, indication that we have a good updraft that could lead to the development of that half-inch hail into Cold Spring as well. Looking at those showers. And the interesting thing is, you might say, hey, it's light right now, but notice right here on the backside, there's still some more moderate to heavy rain that could push into Cold Spring along 150 to the north and east. Also going to continue to see that into Camilla, as well as Swart Out, Wolf Creek, Tigerville, and I'm repeating some of these places on Alaska. This is where we're noticing the heaviest of the rain, as well as some of that frequent lightning. And then stepping even farther to the north into 59 there, north of Livingston, New Willard, we're also experiencing that. So putting that alert back on for you if you're in any of these boxes, if you live near Corrigan, if you live near Livingston, on Alaska, along 287 and where 59 meet, you want to make sure you maybe put a pause on travel for a little bit as these storms continue to progress to the north and east around 40 to 50 miles per hour. They've been moving pretty swiftly. Outside of that, Cleveland, Splendora, Roman Forest right now looking at showers. We're also noticing that shower activity across Kingwood, Atascocita, and even continuing through portions of Aldine. So no matter where you are today, you might not see the heaviest of the storms, but you're going to see some type of rain. That's for sure. As we head back into the city center in and around Houston, Houston Heights, showers right now. Memorial Park also looking at showers. Texas Southern University, you're looking at a little break from the showers, but notice back towards the east here in Harrisburg and Pecan Park, there's a heavy downpour you're getting along Lawndale Street and Office City Drive. We're also seeing that out to Clinton Park as you head to the east of 610 there. And as we continue through this evening, the big question is, hey, when is all of this done? Well, we're going to continue to see chances for showers and storms through the overnight. It really depends when that front finally clears. And I do think into the overnight hours, the threat for severe weather comes down. But as we head into your Sunday morning, we'll notice some very light shower activity, maybe an embedded thunderstorm, mainly south and east of Houston. And then into the afternoon, we'll be back to dry conditions, but it's not going to be looking at a washout and definitely not as active as what we're seeing today. We're still looking at that tornado watch across southeast Texas for this evening. With that, we are concerned for those storms, and then our 10-day forecast showing that big change in temperatures as we head behind all of this wet weather into your Sunday and Monday. But back to radar here for you. We're still looking once again at that activity continuing to stream to the north and east with the best threat for stronger storms across portions of Livingston, Kerrigan, and let me put this in now for you and pause for you. Also on Alaska, 59 meeting 116. If you are familiar with any of these roads, if it sounds familiar to you, you are in that zone. Cold Spring, also looking at the chance for some wind gusts around 40 miles per hour with the potential for some hail. This is where we're going to continue to watch as this shifts to the north and east. Notice Shepherd, you are sitting to the east of the heftiest of that wet weather. If you look back to the east, you're not going to be able to miss that storm cloud there. Same goes for Cleveland, experiencing some light showers. Woodville, you're looking at some showers out there yourself that are not severe warned. These are not severe warned, but just putting you at alert that they are a little bit more feister compared to other showers and storms that we are seeing across the area. So as we continue through this evening, we're going to continue to bring you updates here on these two special weather statements. They are in effect until 3:45. That one that includes portions of Polk, San Jacinto, and Trinity counties. And then as we head to the southern one, also through 3:45. So right now it's 3:15. We'll check back in with you to see if any other cells develop. In the meantime, if you're sitting to the north and east of Conroe, from about Conroe all the way into Livingston, and including 59 into Corrigan, you want to make sure you are taking a break from travel if possible. Head inside and watch these storms pass as they move to the north and east. As for the rest of southeast Texas, there's still going to be streaming showers and storms developing, and we'll keep an eye on each of those cells as they develop, and potentially, once again, watching for tornadic activity through tonight. So that's why we have that tornado watch until 9 p.m. We'll continue to bring you updates. I'll continue to review any questions that you may have, and we'll be live on air here later this afternoon.